Anyways, now time for the track by track review for this seminal album. So, first song, "Smells Like Teen Spirit." I mean, what else can I say about this song that has not been said by nearly everybody in the planet for since the 2025 or less, around those years that this album has been out. "Smells Like Teen Spirit," I would say, is the culmination of Kurt's desire to, as I said before, blending between pop and aggression. And this song definitely gets the gauntlet rolling. Like, there's no mistaking those four chords. There's no mistaking those four chords. And essentially the manner of which this is performed in is quite brutal and very, especially for a song that gained Nirvana such an unexpected following and an unexpected mainstream success. Essentially, like, even Kurt Cobain mentioned that this was an attempt at doing a Pixies ripoff. That dynamic of like having those very quiet verses and then exploding into this loud chorus. You especially get that in this song. And the song's feeling is just utterly primal. It's utterly aggressive, it's angsty, it's primal, and yet the structure and the dynamicism of this song really kind of lends also to a pop sensibility too. Again, pop fusion with aggressiveness, and it's a lot of things. It borderlines between heavy metal, but not in the Metallica kind of sense. It borderlines with grunge, but not in the sense of what Bleach was. And it's really kind of expanded into kind of a universal appeal in the last 20-25 years or so that it's been out. And it's no wonder of like why this song is considered one of the greatest songs of the past 20 plus years or so. That it's the dynamicism and the way Kurt expresses himself in the song is maybe angst ridden, but it's purely from emotion. And I think that even though me not being the big Nirvana fan that I was in high school, I can still come to this song and admire it for its passion and its honesty and its catchy but brutal aggression. So that "Smells Like Teen Spirit." Next song, "In Bloom." It's a pretty great follow-up to Teen Spirit, I have to say. Sorry. I have to say, the first time I heard this song, I didn't really expect much of it. But then, after seeing the video, I was really hooked on this song. It has a really catchy bass line from Chris Novoselic, really interesting drums from Dave Grohl. Of course, Chad Channing, the previous drummer, did the drums, but Dave Grohl completely makes up for it with the dynamicism of his drumming. And so this song is just pretty awesome. "Come As You Are." Wait, I think it's "Come As You Are." Yeah, exactly. "Come As You Are." Sorry about that. "Come As You Are," that very interesting plucking note that Kurt does in the beginning. It's just really, also the sound of it, as everyone else has said before, and as you can tell here, has a feeling of being underwater. It's a watery type of sound, and I think it sounds really absolutely gorgeous. It's really awesome sounding. I positively love the Dave Grohl's drumming on this song. His drumming on this song is just flows, and it's so dynamic, just the way, especially during the solo. Just listen to the solo, and then listen to Dave Grohl's drumming there. It's just so catchy, and you just have to hear it for yourselves. And of course, the rest of the band performs extremely well on here. And the lyric for this song, "Well, I swear I don't have a gun," kind of, foreshadowing. Anyways, that's "Come As You Are." "Breed," the fourth song. I have to be honest with this song. Like, as much as I do like this song, for me, in my personal opinion, I prefer the rough mix of this song better, which was released on "With the Lights Out," the compilation box set. And the reason why that is that like it has a more presence of Kurt's guitar, and even though I love Chris Novoselic's fuzzy bass lines in the original, it's kind of weird in the sense, at least in my opinion, in the sense that like it's kind of odd hearing Kurt's guitar on one channel and then hearing Chris's fuzzy bass on the other, and Dave right in the middle, and I do like the fuzz bass. It really does add like a catchy quality to this song, but me personally, I prefer the rough mix better. It's a more bigger presence of Kurt's guitar, and it's just awesome. I mean, Breed is an awesome song either way, regardless of the fuzz bass or not. But that's just my personal opinion. Lithium. I have to be perfectly honest also with this song also too. It's kind of overrated. Again, my personal opinion. It's a really good song, and I especially love like just the dynamicism of the song, the way this song goes from like yeah, and then like you get the chorus and all that different stuff, But this song really hasn't really aged well for me. Like I do like the song, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I just don't. It's a good song and it's catchy and I like it, but I don't know. It's just one of those songs that hasn't aged well with me at the very least. Polly. Polly is a really great acoustic number, and speaking of which, for those people who have complained about the production of this album, this is probably one instance among two instances actually on this album of which I actually will agree with them. The production, the glossy production, kind of kills this song for me. Like, I would think that an acoustic number, you would love to hear the crisp sharpness of the strings of an acoustic guitar, but with this, with the sheen kind of dulling that effect, it's kind of a bit of a downer. But in of itself, Polly, when you take the production out, is still a really fantastic, beautiful song. It's Kurt and Chris and Dave, and actually the cymbals used in this song is actually from Chad Channing. So I'm not sure if this predates an earlier date or not, but I mean you guys answer that question because I don't have the information with me right now. But Polly, I like this song. I really like this song. Just take the production sheen out of it, and we'll have a tremendous, great acoustic song, and a nice breather too, especially considering the first few tracks, which is far more up there. It really gives a nice break to the other songs. Territorial Pissings, like Chris Novoselic's spoken word thing at the beginning is just so hilariously funny, and yet it gives way to this primal punk rock song in the vein of Negative Creep from Bleach. And it's just, I sincerely love it because it's just so punky, and it's just so, you just like listen. I mean, I know millions of people have listened to it now, but I mean, again, listen to this for yourselves, and because Territorial Pissings is like quite an angry number, an angst-ridden number, and it's just simply awesome. Drain You, also one of the first Nirvana songs I ever heard, and I loved Drain You when I first heard it back in my high school years. I purely loved this song. It's just that this catchy melody, and like the middle section, I think, which now I think about is kind of weird. If I hear correctly, the sound of those like quacks or whatever like is from a rubber duck, I think, that Kurt Cobain owned, and he used it on the recording. So to kind of add this really strange effect towards the middle of the part, but again, like Teen Spirit is one of those moments where Kurt Cobain and the band tries to blend catchy popness with just brutality and aggression. And this song, like Teen Spirit, although not up to the effect of Teen Spirit, really attempts that and does that rather well, I have to say. I don't like this song nearly as much as I did before, but still, still a really catchy number. Lounge Act. For the longest time, I never really heard this song. The only way I would associate Nevermind was through the hits, like Teen Spirit, Breed, Come As You Are, Lithium. So for a while, this was a very obscure Nirvana song for me. And then the first time I heard this song was quite interesting, really. Like I thought, okay, it starts off with Kurt Cobain doing, which when he does it, it sounds really surreal but awesome. And also one of the instances where I think Chris Novoselic's bass is kind of very prominent, especially in the beginning of this one. So yeah, not much of I can say which of Lounge Act. Stay Away. This song, like I said, along with Polly, I think would be totally, totally better without the production sheen on it. Like Polly, I think this song really benefits much more better from when if the production is just kind of ripped off and just let the song breathe on its own. It's purely a punk rock song, like Territorial Pissings, and I think it kind of thrives on being just simply that, a punk rock song, a grunge number. And again, like Territorial Pissings, this song oozing with rage and oozing with angst, and it's an awesome number, I have to say. And like just take the sheen out of it, and it'll just breathe right through. Oh, speaking of which, you have the Diva and Cher mixes from the anniversary that was released 2 years ago for Nevermind, and the Stay Away mix of the Diva and Cher mix is just exactly as how I heard it, and I think I would prefer that over just my personal opinion. On a Plane, this song is there's a lot of songs that take a lot of influence here from the Beatles, and with Kurt Cobain being a huge admirer of the Beatles, it's no secret. But this song, I feel it's their most Beatle-esque type of song, especially when you take the vocal harmonies. Dave Grohl did some vocal harmonies on this album, and I think this is the one song of which Kurt and Dave really shine through with their vocal harmonies. But apart from that, this song, it's good, but I think like Lithium, it really hasn't aged well with me in particular. So, but it's still a pretty good song. Something in the Way, the second to last track, last track actually, is a really stark way to end this album. It's a stark finish. It's almost gothic in a way, and it just features Kurt playing on acoustic guitar. I believe it's Chris Novoselic playing on a cello bass or something like that. And what else can I say? I mean, it's a very stark ending for an album to start with something as just exuberant as Smells Like Teen Spirit and ending on a song like Something in the Way. It's kind of a stark contrast in a way, of like an interesting way to end this album that has been touted by millions of people as being one of the defining albums of the last decade. Well, the 90s decade, actually. And it's quite an interesting finish in a way. It ends the album on a very mellow note, and it ends it on a very stark note in that. And part of this will be points ahead towards the unfulfilled and unfortunately ambition of Kurt wanting to create more orchestrated and more acoustic sounding music, and it's such a sad thing that he had to pass away like he did. That ambition will not be seen to fruition. But this song kind of ends this album off on a really hushed note. Speaking of which, 10 minutes of silence of this album, and you will get the actual last song, Endless Nameless. And I have to admit, the first time I heard this, it scared the living crap out of me. The crap out of me was just scared because following a song as mellow as Something in the Way, then getting into Endless Nameless, it's quite a big of a shocker. And if I heard correctly, this was a stressful take from the band trying to play Lithium, and then Kurt Cobain just simply got fed up and then started to mess around and got all pissed off and angry, and that's what you hear in the song. And the only time I listen to this song is when I'm feeling in my day, just feeling very pensed and pissed off, or just really stressed about something. And if I feel very stressed about something, then I go to this song. I go to the song and just vent my frustrations along with this song. I mean, not on actual objects, mind you, but just one of those moments where, it's the perfect song, at least in my opinion, to confidently release your frustrations. Although I will be perfectly honest and say that it's not a song I'm a huge fan of as I used to be. But it's a song I listen to every once in a while. And it's a song that, I also listen to also every couple of eons. But there's one thing to say about this song, is that the sheer rage of Kurt's guitar and the way he just demolishes it to pieces. It's one of the only instances where it just permeates through this gloss production. So this album really doesn't end on a quiet note after all, if you count Endless Nameless as the last song off this album, if you follow 10 minutes of silence. But yeah,